Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread for today? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are Empress in its reversal. I'm not surprised to see this card right now. And the King of Cups in its reversal. All right, my friends, let's talk about it. Okay, so we're just going to go through this. I'm just going to go through the fire drill right now in relationality to what we're experiencing energetically. Okay, there is currently, we've got how many planets right now? Let me double check. It's like we got Mercury in Aries. We got Venus in Aries. We've got Chiron in Aries. We got Neptune moving into Aries. Saturn is on its way there too, right? We've got all of this energy pushing up into Aries. And at the same time, right, we've got a Venus in retrograde. Now, the Venus in retrograde cycles are typically not that, they're not that overwhelming. Right? They're usually pretty manageable. The difficulty with a lot of the Venus retrograde cycles is why there's often that characterization of saying don't get your hair cut, because the thing that occurs with Venus in retrograde cycles is it distorts our perception of things, right? It's like ugly mirror energy, right? It's looking at things and things seeming worse than they are. That can be a lot. They can be a lot around the focus and the orientation directed to the self, right? Now, I'm going to just walk you guys through this again. We've got that feeling, right? Like that feeling that's like saying everything looks ugly. Everything looks ugly. Everything looks worse than it is. Everything looks worse than it is. And then we've got the Virgo full moon that we're moving towards. And Virgo energy is beautiful. But one of the work, a lot of the work that often Virgos have to navigate is understanding and healing from the aspect of perfection, right? We talked a lot about this yesterday, about the fact that often Virgos arrive here looking for perfection, right? They think it's a destination on the map, right? And what does a lot of the work in the Virgo cycles work through? It's understanding that perfection is not a destination. It's a cardinal direction. It's a longing for something, right? That's always a bit across the horizon point, right? It's a lot of that space. So a lot of this work that we're experiencing right now with these, and we talk about this here, that every full moon, there's a benefit to it. There's something that's positive, but we always have to be conscientious of the indulgence, right? And what is the indulgence of the moon that we're experiencing right now? The recognition that perfect is an illusion. And when we concentrate too much on perfect stands in the way of done, right? So now I want you to think about it. You got two different drums going right now. You got the drum that is the drum that is the Virgo retrograde that says everything's ugly, everything's ugly, everything's ugly, right? And then you've got the demand of the Virgo, the Virgo full moon that says everything needs to be perfect, everything needs to be perfect, everything needs to be perfect, everything is ugly, everything needs to be perfect, everything is ugly, everything needs to be perfect. So it's it's feeling a lot of that pressure right now. And that's why I'm going to say this again. If you're feeling a lot of this pressure, snap out of it. Remember, it's not you. It's the energetic vibe, right? Find that anchor. Work towards, make sure you're holding that anchor to yourself right now, because that ability of understanding, and I need to point this out, we work on recognizing ourselves so that when we can't see clearly, right? When it feels like others' distortions of us don't feel like they match it, we can navigate that with the space of logic, right? And this is and I told you right now, there's a massive amount of heart opening that's happening right now for both feminine and masculine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. And it is having a very different effect on those frequencies right now, right? Look at this. Look at the proximity that we find masculine and feminine in right now. They're adjacent to one another. They're both feeling the intensity of this, but it's having a different impact. Now, curiously, this is having a big impact for masculine right now within Pisces, right? Coming in touch with one's feelings, working in that context. For feminine, we've got a lot of this energy that's coming through as it relates to the Aries heart opening. This is why we talked about the fact that for a lot of the masculine energy right now, it's that feeling of wanting to share, right? Because what occurs when masculine is in that space of doing that healthy heart opening, right? If this is the masculine that's healing from the false premise that emotions are not separate from masculinity, but they're part and parcel of it, that everything we receive is a gift, then we see here that there's a lot of this, like, I feel like this is a lot of masculine being in that space of like wanting to, like, I keep on hearing, is like wanting to explore things, like wanting to understand things with deeper clarity. Like there's a lot of, I keep on hearing there's a lot of soul searching that a lot of the masculine energy may be experiencing right now, but it's a soul searching that also feels like that sense of camaraderie because it's that desire to connect, right? It's that that desire to share with others in the process of that journey. Now, for feminine, going through the same heart opening, like the same like heart chakra opening exercise, what do we see that's occurring with the feminine? This is the feminine coming through in the exact opposite vibration. Is this the feminine that feels that need to share? No. Feminine healing the heart chakra is bringing a lot of that love back towards the self, right? Like, it's like, I keep on saying for masculine right now, the healing is like, would you like some cake? Like, it's like that space of being like, can we share this together? Like, can we share this bounty, right? The bounty of the emotions. For feminine, it's more of that space of saying, I am not cake, right? It's working through a lot of that pathwork of discernment. If this is a feminine that felt like, again, in order to embody her femininity, she had to be available to everyone to suit everyone else's needs. This is the feminine that says it's not selfish to reserve some of that for the self. In fact, it is necessary because it's only when we're able to build in the context of we can only give others what we ourselves can replenish within the self, right? So that's why I keep on seeing that for both masculine and feminine, like doing that, I keep on calling, like I call it wing work because feminine is moving more into the space of austerity through this. Masculine is coming more into the space of opening, right? Both doing that work and sharing their feelings upon the journey. Now, for the energy deep within divine union, this is coming through as a lot of I keep on hearing it's Saturnine messages. And I believe I need to investigate further as to why it feels so closely associated to time. But I think a lot of the reason that we may be seeing that right now is the fact that like Saturn and Neptune are both pushing into Aries right now, or they're on their way to. So it's a lot of that space. I keep on hearing that for a lot of that energy, that identification point, that time is precious, right? This is almost how I see that this energy is healing the heart space because they're holding their time preciously. So again, a lot of that Virgo work. While for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, I keep on seeing a lot of this energy coming into divine union, working through, I keep on hearing the sacred recognition of something that we did not know that we need to heal, right? This is what we talk about with healing journeys. This is why healing journeys aren't easy. Because healing journeys are not those moments that say, yeah, it's great. Nothing affects me anymore. I don't feel anything. like that's not healing. In what context have you ever seen someone that's like, it's great. Can't feel a thing. It's totally numb. No, it's that space where we feel everything. So something that I keep seeing here is the amplification of recognizing if these were areas in the past where someone navigated a situation or circumstance where they were desensitized to such an extent that they realized now that they were either traumatized or traumatizing. This is a lot of that energy that is holding those apologies sacredly. But I got to point this out, like I keep on saying, is this energy that's like rushing around trying to give apologies and receive them? No, they're holding them on the sacred altar of the self, understanding and working through the lesson that sometimes when we want to give someone an apology, something that might feel good to get off of our chest, we might inadvertently open a wound in another in the process. So that's why I keep on hearing that I keep on hearing that there's like a lot of energy coming into divine union that's performing the careful surgery of recognizing the fact of what can hurt versus what can heal. And that's why I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a lot of karmic dreams that are happening right now. Because a lot of that work or navigating the dream space, like the nice thing about the dream space is if we want to like heal something, but we don't want to hurt another person, the guides are always like, well, that's nice because that's where you can do that. And they can like, like if it's not working out well, it's like, all right, no, right? Well, for masculine and feminine in separation right now, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy in separation, I see a lot. I got to tell you, I see a lot of new energetic connection. Like the bright side of this, I see some amazing new partnerships that are coming together right now, and I like these partnerships because, they feel like Virgo partnerships. And the reason they keep on saying to me that they're Virgo partnerships at this time is because I keep on hearing they share the work, right? They take it seriously. They understand the assignment. And that's why I keep on hearing there's a lot of work that's happening right now as it relates to new partnerships and feeling like one is rendered silent. Why is someone feeling like one is rendered silent? And again, closing of cycles in terms of being rendered silent, or the opening of cycles as it relates to odd silence. Because, I keep on seeing here, if there's those moments in the past where we know the work, right? Often we leave situations or circumstances and it's sad because we see the possibilities that something could heal, but we can't force another person on their healing journey, right? And so I keep on seeing that there may be, and we always hold that hope that something could change, right? That would allow for that expansion point. Well, I see even now, I've got 3 different modalities that are happening right now in separation. I've got the modality wherein we're recognizing that someone's trying to come towards someone to heal something, right? So now you've got an energy and expectation, right? That knows what the assignment is, right? But if someone comes towards them in the moment that they know what that transformation work is, and they say, I have a lot of feelings for you, right? Again, the heart opening, the exposure point, being like, I want to tell you my feelings for you. This is the energy that says, telling the feelings is not moving into a direction. Like when we tell each other our feelings, it's stagnancy, right? It sometimes creates more confusion. The energy, I keep on hearing, this is why there's chariot lessons that are occurring right now. Because again, when we feel something and we give a plan to it, that is what progress looks like. So you see even now the confusion that may be occurring where someone's trying to have a conversation with someone and someone's saying, where is it going? And the other person says, I have a lot of feelings for you, right? They just want to expose something. And the other person saying, yeah, but that's not progress. And someone says, no, but I've got a lot of them, right? That's a surplus. Being like, yeah, I know it's a surplus, but a surplus isn't progress. There may be this moment that you feel like you're not in sync with someone because it's almost that moment of resignation and saying they didn't understand the assignment, right? And that's that moment that you look at another person with a sense of resignation. You say, I'm really happy that you're recognizing something, but that doesn't fix it. Right? Often when we're in a trauma space, we talk about this. This is why we heal from trauma. Because sometimes when you got a lot of feelings for someone, but you haven't learned to heal so that your love feels like love, that's not a gift. That's a warning, right? Well, for mass, and at the same time, I see a lot of energy right now working in that space of recognizing and identifying, having those conversations that feel like they are sublime. And what do we talk about with sublime relationships, right? Like those sublime moments where it feels like we're trying to explain to something to someone that made us feel profoundly isolated. And it's that moment that we're explaining it and we feel like someone just interrupts us and finishes our sentence, right? Those moments that we look towards another and they say, you don't need to walk me through it. I'm completely on, like we are on the same page. I know exactly what you're talking about, right? Those moments that we are rendered into that divine silence where we feel like we are seen, right? We feel like we are recognized. We feel very vulnerable in that space, right? It almost feels like an embrace. So there's a lot of this work. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm seeing energy right now, either navigating one of those or the other. And I'll tell you right now, and I send so much blessings to those who are dealing with this, some energy dealing with both at once. So, and again, that's how Jupiter and Gemini is helping us right now, because that point of comparison, sometimes we can't see something unless we have something to compare it to, right? Third card in our 5-card spread. Healing is not linear. Yep, three of cups. 3 of Cups and it's upright, you know, and I think that that's the thing that's difficult about this right now is that healing is not linear, right? It's not, you know, you have to look at it in the space that it is comprehensive, right? It's not a race. It's not like something that you get from one point to another, right? And we talk about the fact that healing is not linear because often when we reach the conclusion to a healing cycle, we find something that we didn't even recognize that we needed to work on, you know, and I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy there, and I keep on hearing this is very valuable and important for the energy in separation, building new connections. Because I keep on hearing that a lot of this energy building new connections is talking heavily about the past. That would be a lot of that Neptune and Saturn pushing into Aries. But I keep on hearing the difference between the conversation. I keep on hearing, diagnosed, not fixated, right? Why am I hearing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union, like in separation, building into like a new connection? This is the energy that is looking towards the past, because the energy is saying, I hold my past sacredly because the past helps shape who I am today, right? And that's why I hear a lot of the new energetic connections saying, make no mistake, I'm speaking about something, I'm not fixated upon it, because I understand and recognize like what can be worked upon versus why something did not work, right? I keep on hearing the energy go, I understand what can be worked upon versus why something could not work. And that ability of understanding, and I keep on hearing like, you know, focused, not fixated, because the word fixated, right, means that you are obsessed with something because you're still actively trying to figure out a way to fix it. When we've built a resolution in ourselves, right, we often describe that as something where we're able to articulate exactly what happened. And in those moments we say, yeah, like we wanted different things. This is always going to be a hurdle. Like it's in the past and it's not something that I'm returning to, but it's something that I refer to often because I refer to often. I carry it with me and I refer to it often because I learn things about myself as I do so, right? While for a lot of this energy coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union, like what does one do? Like I keep on seeing and this is why the energy is going like this with apologies, because this is the energy that's going ow, 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 ow. Because sometimes when we heal, we start hurting more because we start feeling things, we start building empathy, and we're like, right? Because you start to cringe because you're like, oof, okay, yeah. Like we see things that hurt us, like they hurt us because we understand. But that's why I see that this is why it becomes sacred heart energy, because sometimes it's not about, like I keep on hearing, you know, when we go and it's more of the same stuff. An apology is a plan, right? And so that ability, that's why I see the energy that's feeling the prick. I keep on hearing it's feeling those stings, those woundings of recognizing something that they didn't see before, the need for an apology, or not even need, the desire, the recognition that apology is deserved, or the feeling of wanting to give one. But as I said, is this energy running all over the place trying to do so? No. Because this is often the recognition that when we're in alignment, we see things and we understand things. And this is why I see that there's a lot of energy utilizing that path work of building energetic discernment in relationality to what feels like it can reach a point of positivity, if you will. Like what can create that space of healing versus that moment of not wanting to open your heart and again, create a wound in the process, right? Well, again, I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy, deep within divine union, there's a lot of this work that I just keep on seeing that is occurring right now as it relates to trying to come into the context of, I keep on hearing overlapping, doing things in ways that allows one to get more things done at the same time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of this energy here. And that's why I keep on seeing, even now, for masculine, it feels very gregarious. I see masculine like coming into some kind of like jubilee energy right now. It's like that desire to want to like, you know, share the spread the joy kind of thing, right? Like a lot of that masculine energy being in a healthy space. But like it's also saying to me, but for feminine, I see feminine being more in a space of focusing very much on the internal journey. So I keep on hearing that there's something really beautiful about that with the energy deep within divine union, which means like I keep on hearing like separate but never apart. Why is the energy saying separate but never apart? Because when we understand, when we're intuitive, when we actively listen to what love needs, it allows for that context of understanding that we don't always have to be in the same vibration at every moment. That, you know, the joy, I keep on hearing the joy in seeing another person follow their bliss brings us bliss, right? So there's a lot of that energy that we're just like seeing here. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread. We've got the 4. You know, here's the thing about it too. A lot of this 4 of Swords in combination with the Page of Pentacles, this is what we talk about right now. You know, I got to just tell you, and this is happening across all the frequencies. There's a lot of this. I keep on hearing. I don't know why it's coming through. It's like it's giving me a little bit of this sense. And I'm not surprised. Remember, one of the things we've been talking about before we started the podcast is the fact that the energy right now is very dry. We were very wet energy for the last few months, and now everything's just dried up, like bone dry, because we had no Aries energy. Everything was sitting in Pisces, and now Aries station direct, and all the planets are moving into Aries. I'm going to tell you right now, if you've got Pisces placements, you might be feeling like abandonment wounds are getting triggered, right? It's like, because I got to tell you, like Pisces is going through something where it feels like all the planets, if you're feeling like the fleetingness of existence right now, if you find yourself in a very melancholic state right now and you've got Pisces placements, it's the abandonment wound getting triggered because all the planets are leaving your house. Okay. Like it's because it's like, oh, where's everybody going? Why are you going? What has Aries got that I don't got? Like it's a lot of that type of energy. So I'm just saying that to help anyone with Pisces placements right now that are feeling like they're feeling a little off center in this type of energy. Okay? Because it's going to trigger, it might trigger if you have, and the sun's in Pisces too. If you are in Pisces right now, like if you have Pisces placements, it might be very triggering to your abandonment wounds right now. But just remember, baby, it's because all of the planets are like moving out of the house of Pisces into Aries. Okay. But and here's the thing about it. There's a lot of the thing about it. And I told you, this is chiaroscuro energy, right? We got the twin harmonics of something that keeps on making everything look distorted, in combination with the Venus full moon that wants everything to be perfect, right? When we're in a healthy space, we get a grip by understanding and saying, like, I got to get a grip of myself, right? Because in those moments, and I got to point this out, it has to do with recognizing that something's only valuable in terms of the fact that you can work on it, right? And that's why we avoid projecting when we get into a space of healing. Because here's the thing, the same vibration that says they're the worst, right? Like that throws something to another is the same energy that says woe is me, that says I'm the worst, right? The energy that says there's nothing I can do, it's all them. What's the point of anything? Is the same energy that says I'm the worst. Nothing I do is right, right? Because what is the word that you hear with someone that projects or overly internalizes? It's not me. It's not me. Like, it's all me, right? I can do nothing. I can do nothing, right? It's a lot. It's like I keep on hearing. It's the same space of just coming into the point of resignation, right? But when we're into a space where we are energetically activated, we don't often project, or we don't get very heavy within ourselves, because we understand that we try to focus on what we can do, what our hands can do, what our work can do, right? And so that's why I keep on seeing that there may be a lot of conversations that are reaching, I keep on hearing conclusion points, because, in those moments that another throws up their hands to a certain degree, right? Like that, I told you, it's like the moment that someone says, like, I feel like, again, it's not about the amplification that says I feel awful, right? It's not the amplification that says, like, love is not saying, look what you've done to me, right? Love is the amplification of saying, look what I would like to create with you, right? It's bringing that map. It's the gift that we give each other in relationality to how we feel and what it is that we want to share with one another. And that's why I keep seeing that there's a lot of work being done right now in the space of identifying, I keep on hearing, the resignation of blame, right? Because when we blame, we look for reasons why we can't do something, right? It's like the sorry that doesn't mean sorry, because sorry is a plan, right? So I keep on hearing the difference. There's a lot of work being done right now between the energy of sorry that feels like it's trying to blame things, the inactive state of apology that says, I'm sorry about the situation, versus an apology. An apology is a plan, right? An apology is doing something that activates, that recognizes, what needs to be corrected and what one can do going forward, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy in separation right now, recognizing and working through situations that feel like the emotions are confusing the situation, right? Having to feel like you have to, like, pull the emotions back and actually see, like, what that plan is. Like, there's a lot of that energy that I'm seeing here, that like the gift I keep on getting with a lot of this Aries and Virgo is clarity, right? Clarity, not having a space where the emotions cloud the perception of what is happening. Because I'll tell you right now, I always like to point this out. Aries, like the one place that Aries and Virgo high five is when you say, like, again, you can find an Aries and a Virgo in a room when you say feelings have nothing to do with it. And the Aries and Virgo go right up here, right up here. they go up here on high, right here on high. I got you, right? Like that's a lot of that mutual work that we find in those signs. Continuing to get clarification between our Empress card and its reversal and our King of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now. Here's the thing, man. We got that 5. We got to talk about all this Aries energy. It's going to be easy if you got Aries placements, okay? If you got Aries placements, it might be easier because you're always feeling like this, And here's the thing, and this is the thing. God blessing, like, if you have an Aries in your life, I want you to understand, Aries did not come here with any patience. Any patience that an Aries has given you, they had to make it. They had to make it themselves. Everybody else shows up. They're like, where'd everybody Where'd you guys get all of that? Like, we just came with it. Where's yours? And you're like, I don't know. They've been trying to find it everywhere they go. There's no patience anywhere. And this is why, like, Aries is like, this is very, very, very valuable to me. This is very valuable to me. Okay. This is the good stuff. Like, this is the gift I give you. Like, like, a lot of that like you, and that's the thing, like, Aries come here to learn how to make patience. They got like, that's like, they're like, I like, they're the blacksmiths of patience. Like, that's the thing. It's like, you have to learn how to make it, right? But that space, and I got to tell you right now, that's why Aries are very discriminating as to who they give patience to, right? It's not that an Aries can't be patient. It's respecting and appreciating that their patience needs to be met with progress, right? I told you. So there's a lot of this. There's a lot of work that I'm seeing that's happening right now as it relates to the closure of karmic cycles, or the opening of karmic cycles, in recognizing and honoring the patience that we give one another, that is a gift, right? And that's the energy that reminds us that patience is everlasting, so long as it receives, like, and this is the breath of sacred union, right? The patience we extend to someone met with progress, right? The infinite breath, our patience that feels like it continues and continues, not because we're waiting all the time, not because we're feeling like the space of saying, like, please give me more patience. It's because the partnership and counterpart recognizes that we're in that space of need and then fulfills that, right? It comes back and forth. It's like the healthy relationship that is the sacred breath. And so that's why I keep on seeing that if this is that moment, I told you right now, this is why I see that there's a little bit of this energy. I'll tell you right now that I'm just seeing this in a couple of different vectors, where if someone was bringing all sorts of patience to a situation, more and more and more, until finally they reached a point of not being able, like, they've reached, I keep on hearing, the expiration of their patience. And only in that moment does someone deliver the thing that they've been asking for. It doesn't, I keep on hearing, it doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a token, right? It feels like an insult. It feels like, I keep on hearing, it's like the opposite of a gift, because it's a recognition of another seeing that and having the clarity of identifying that it feels like someone was withholding it until it was too late to receive it, right? It's like, I keep on hearing, it's like, it doesn't feel like a gift in that moment. It feels like an injury, right? Continuing to get clarification. And this is why I see, like, I can see a lot of energy potentially even now moving into moving forward and having some kind of situation that they're leaving in the past. But that's the energy that says, and again, this is why we have like the combination force of Gemini and Aries. Where does Gemini and Aries high five? Gemini and Aries high five because they say, I never fail at anything. Failure doesn't exist, right? So Gemini and Aries high five there. They go, yeah. Failure does, like, go ask a Gemini or Aries if they've ever failed at anything. I guarantee you, I put money on it. A Gemini and Aries will look you directly in the eye and say, I have never failed at anything in my life. But they'll say, I just gave up on things. Why? Took too much work, right? It's the energy. Gemini and Aries firmly feel like Gemini is a perpetual motion machine. Aries is an ignition switch. They're like, they can do anything. It's not about what can be done. It's about how much work it takes to do it. Equal distribution of weight, right? Continuing to get clear. And then I keep on telling you right now, there's a lot of this energy here, right? It's like I keep on hearing, it's like not excuses. It's not the space for excuses. Not with all this energy here. Continuing to get clarity between our King of Cups and its reversal in combination with our three of Cups. Right? This is like an arid plain, is what I'm getting. One card to clarify. Yeah, and so again, it's like I keep on seeing that the clarity that's happening right now that is nice is again, and I'm telling you right now, it has a lot to do. And if it feels like, I'm going to tell you right now, it feels like you're coming to your senses on some stuff right now. I need to describe this. Coming to our senses is often described as the moment that we don't feel like our emotions are clouding our logic. Okay? And the reason that I feel like there are a lot of situations that energy is potentially moving away from right now because they feel like their senses are unclouded is because we had all of that energy in Pisces, right? And the thing is, and Pisces and Cancer know this well. Pisces and Cancer can romanticize anything. Again, Pisces and Cancer, high five. They're like, we can romanticize anything. But that space, it's like, it's not about whether you can romanticize something. It's whether another person intended it as romantic. Right? Like, that's why I keep on hearing, like, Aries is like bringing a lot of harsh conversations into the space of Pisces. Right? And when, again, like, that's the thing with the emotions. And here's the thing about the emotions. The emotions, right? The emotions will try to find comfortability in any situation. It's like desire to try to romanticize anything. But that's why I feel like, again, the Aries is like, Aries is here to save the day and being like, it's not whether you can romanticize it. Did someone intend it as romantic? Okay? Like, it's like, because those spaces, and I keep on hearing this energy say, I hear a lot of energy walking away from something and saying, I don't find this romantic anymore. I don't find this romantic anymore. I find this traumatizing, right? Like, I see a lot of new energetic connections that are forming by looking back on something and saying, yeah, I thought it was romance. It was a trauma bond. You know what I mean? Like, there's the energy going, I literally see some new energetic connections that are building and being like, I thought I was in love, but it was a trauma bond. Like, I see like the energy, like basically articulating upon that to a certain extent, right? But even in that space of clarity, right? This is the energy that's able, like, they want to talk about it, and that's I almost hear the energy saying, like, I can hear someone laughing and like, that's why it feels nice. I can hear the energy say, it's okay to, like, I can hear the energy say, like, I can laugh at it now, but it was like that's, I hear the energy, like almost like laughing in a way, because it's saying, I can laugh at it now. And it feels like a joy to laugh at because, I hear the energy go, I'm laughing, but inside I'm crying, right? That sometimes, like, I keep on hearing what's interesting about it. And I need to point this out. And actually, I'm about to tell on a bunch of Aries here. I'm sorry. Aries have a hard time crying. So sometimes, like, Aries will laugh through things. Like, this is like, often, like, when we have issues like with tears, like arid energy. This is why there's sometimes conflict points, because, like, the understanding that sometimes when someone's like laughing, it's because it's like it's laughing and crying. I need to explain this. Laughing and crying are the sign of emotion that needs to burst forth from us, right? It's a lot of the same weight. And the thing is, like, Aries are big laughers for that reason, right? Pisces are big criers because Pisces are very much in the water sense. So often the way that those with water sign placements like to express excessive emotions is via tears. Fire signs, like, it's a lot of laughter. It's a lot of that space where it's like when you feel that excitement, like that point, like it's the exuberant point that it comes out. So I see even now, like, there's a lot of that work that, like, I can see the energy that feels something cathartic and healing, because it's the energy I keep on hearing. It's not just about the sacred tears. It's not the tears of joy. I keep on hearing, remember the difference between the tears of joy and the heartbreaking cry, right? The laughter that contains pain, like the laughter that bursts forth from us because we make the intention of saying, like, this is how I choose to carry something, because it's like, it's not funny. Like, it's funny. It's like that. I keep on hearing, it's like, it's funny because it's not funny at all. Right. It's like, it's a lot of that type of energy here. Right. And again, like, you either understand that those with heavy Aries placements are going to be like this right now, and Pisces are going to be like what, like, it's going to be a little bit, but again, and I'll put it this way, the way you can understand, Aries never have happy tears. Like Pisces happy tears our Aries like sobbing laughter, right? Okay, if that helps. All right, continuing to get clarification between our Three of Cups in its upright in combination with our four, like our Four of Swords in its upright. One card to clarify. Yeah, it's, oh, and there we go. We've got that High Priestess energy here in its reversal. Now, this is very important because you'll recall we had the High Priestess center of the final card in yesterday's reading. So a lot of this work, it's a lot of this, what are you going to do kind of work, right? It's a lot of this, what are you going to do, right? And I need to point this out, like the beauty of saying, like, what are you going to do to a certain extent is because, you know, and I need to stress this, like what's beautiful about the space of saying, like, what are you going to do is, you know, in one moment, it's the articulation of saying some circumstances are outside of our control, right? It's identifying and recognizing and saying, like, there are certain things that we experience outside the self that, you know, we just have to experience. It's not something that we can change. But what are you going to do is also that space of reminding the self that we always have some things within us we can change, right? That there's always the viability of direction that is resulting around us, right? It is a moment that helps us recognize and understand that often working through those spaces, and I keep on hearing this, it has to do with the recognition point of how, like, and I keep on getting this. It's like, and that's why I keep on seeing if there are arguments that are happening right now between energy that wants to dwell in the space of emotion, right, versus energy that wants to move in a space that feels like it is productive. We almost see that there's a lot of that work there because I keep on hearing, like, this is why I keep on hearing to a certain extent it's chariot energy, because a lot of that space or a lot of that identification point is when we feel things that are not helpful to us, they often make us feel resigned, right? They make us feel energetically powerless, right? But when we're in that space of healing and we allow ourselves to understand the nature of our feelings, we feel fortified by them, right? We feel strengthened by them. You know, it's this, and that's why I'm telling you right now, like with a lot of this, like eclipse energy. I remember I was kept telling you guys to make sure that you were staying very grounded in it, not allowing oneself to be triggered, because I keep on hearing, and this was something that was coming through very heavily across all of the frequencies. Our emotions are not each other's responsibility, right? Like I cannot go into you and adjust how you feel about me, right? If you hate me, you hate me. I can't fix that. I mean, you might tell me that there's something that I do that bothers you and we can talk about it. But ultimately, what feelings I generate in you are out of my control. And this is why all the spiritual messages always have a catch, except one, and that is confusion, right? Confusion is the gift that we can always heal, because via confusion, when someone comes towards us with confusion, they are asking a question. They need a point of clarity, right? And so I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now that is working through, and I keep on hearing the difference between someone coming towards them in a space of bringing emotions that just feel like they make something more confusing, right? Versus the emotions that have a plan attached to them, right? That have an intention, right? That have a direction, right? Whether the emotions feel like they're just creating a more of a cloud of confusion, or whether they're going somewhere. And this is where I keep on seeing that a lot of energy right now across all the frequencies is like, and I keep on seeing all the work that we experienced with the Mars retrograde cycle and navigating surrender, understanding surrender isn't giving up. It's holding into a space of being able to see with clarity, right? It's not allowing the emotions to cloud our judgment, but seeing something with clear eyes. I keep on seeing that a lot of that work that we're seeing here, this is the energy that says, like, Like it's no time. It's this is not a time to like, I keep on hearing, it's not a time to cry. It's a cry. It's like, it's not like, even if you feel like it, it's like, I'm tired, grandpa. It's like, keep digging. Like it's either like a direction is a direction. I've got feelings for you. Is that a direction? Right? I want to talk to you. Is that a direction? I miss something. Is that a direction? Right? Like I see the energy being like directions, 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 right? And I feel like, again, for a lot of the new connections, the ability to provide those directions is what is creating a lot of that feeling of excitement, because this is the energy that says, I like that says like the work that they're doing is to build clarity and to avoid confusion, right? Because that's what we do when we're in a space of healing. Continuing to clarification between our Four of Swords and its upright in combination with our Page of Pentacles and its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Two cards coming out to clarify. We've got here the Hanged Man and the Six of Swords. Right. And you know what? Here's the thing. Sometimes being on a healing journey sucks. Just sucks. Things suck. Like, I know what I mean. Like, it's not, and here's the thing that's important, right? It's like, it's not about, like, you have to understand when you're manifesting in a positive way, it's like manifestation isn't like, oh my gosh, it's great. I like wanted something. And then like this beautiful road opened up and I just, moved down. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Right. It's understanding, right? It's working through like, what are those blockage points? It's feeling the frustration. It's doing the internal work, right? And again, often we talk about the space of saying, I got out of what did you do? And we say, I got out of my own way, right? We understand that sometimes when we hold on to something so tightly, we have a hard time seeing with clarity, what is in alignment to us versus what it is that we want, right? Sometimes when we're working in that space, and I keep on seeing remember what we talked about? And it has to do with the idea and the thinking about the space of a fixation, right? What is a fixation? A fixation is articulated by something that is clearly not working, right? But we become fixated upon fixing it. Now, again, what did we talk about? Healthy partnership in any context is the respiring breath of, again, patience that is met with progress. But often when we're not in alignment, it feels like one person is constantly fixated on trying to fix something that another person doesn't have any aspiration and desire to fix. That is often indicative of the fact that they do not have the same manifestation goals, right? Often when someone's not trying to fix something that another person's trying to fix, it's not like they're going to say, this is my perfect, right? But that's what's happening. Right? When someone says this needs to be fixed and another person says, I don't see anything to fix, that is an argumentation on manifestation goals that is occurring. One person is saying, I like it just the way it is. Stop trying to break it. This is my perfect. And another person is saying, I am in suffering. I am in pain here. This is not what I want it to be. This feels like torture, right? That is the energy that has not built into the harmonics of setting clear boundaries with one another in terms of what it is they're trying to manifest. Because one person is articulating the fact that they're being hurt and the other one's saying, stop struggling, right? Like that's the energy. Like those are those spaces that we have to have the clarity and understanding what is in alignment to us. And sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes someone's not intending to do that. If someone doesn't know themselves well, they might not recognize the fact that they're in that space. But again, the guides are kind of clear on this. Whether someone's doing that intentionally or whether someone's doing that because they don't understand themselves enough, it's kind of all the same in the wash, it's kind of that space. It's like if as to the reason why doesn't change the outcome. So I just keep on seeing that for a lot of and the bright side that I'm seeing here is for a lot of the energy coming into partnership at this time, I just keep on seeing Virgo unions that are happening here. Clear assignments. You know what I mean? And that's a nice thing about it. Like Virgo is like clear assignments. Organized, understood. They've got a plan. I can see energy like coming together right now with like charts and graphs. Be like, this is what I want to create. This is what it looks like. This is what I want to build with you. This is I can see a lot of this energy. Because again, it's a lot of this vibe right now. You know, it's a lot of that excitement in terms of finding someone. I keep on hearing the joy of finding someone it feels like you can run with, right? Someone that shares that eagerness, right? And that's happening across all of the frequencies. Well, for a lot of the energy right now, you'll understand that some of this pain point that we're seeing for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that is having those points of contemplation in harmony with another, right? Having that moment, being able to look back on something and suddenly realizing and recognizing the hurt that they may have caused or the hurt that they received that they didn't necessarily deserve. But is this energy like breaking their run to go back to give something to another? No, because this is the energy that says when I'm healing, you don't need to parade it around in front of everybody. This is the energy that heals, that understands that sometimes when you get something off of your chest, you may create a wound in the process, right? So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy that is holding and discovering new wounds within them, right? It's like the journey of healing that hurts us as we continue, but that's why the energy puts those hurts on their altar, the apologies that they hold sacred. And I keep on hearing the apologies are on the altar of self, the altar of the self that has been changed. And that's why the energy says, should the blessed day ever come that I can give those or receive one, it will be a gift, but it's not necessary to healing. Right? They're utilizing discernment in relationality to what feels like they can give something that would be helpful versus what feels like it might be harmful. That's why there's probably a lot of karmic dreams that are happening right now. Continuing to get clarification between our 5 of Wands in combination with our 2 of Wands and its upright. May I please have one card to clarify? Thank you. Clarification coming through right now with the Emperor. Man, we got some big cards out right now. I got to tell you, and I like this from the perspective of masculine and feminine. Masculine, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to tell you, for those in partnership, masculine energy is feeling much more gregarious right now. I keep on seeing that masculine energy is in a space of healing, like healing. I keep on hearing the masculine energy say, the emotions are not stopping me from being masculine. Trying to stop the emotions is what stops me from being masculine, right? Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Because this is the masculine says, when I'm afraid of something, I'm not in control of something. If I'm afraid of my emotions, then my emotions have power over me, right? Because if I'm afraid of them, if I have no control of myself when I feel an emotion, then I am, like, that is the energy that says I'm afraid of myself. And this is why the masculine works on integrating the emotions, because this is the emotion, masculine learning what stoicism is. Stoicism is being in the space of being a chariot of your own existence, right? Feeling the breath of emotions, right? Feeling those horses that want to pull you in different directions, but then also having the power enough of the self to know what your intention is. And when the masculine comes into the space that they feel the stability and strength of being able to feel all of the emotions, never does the feminine feel safer than in the embrace of a masculine who is in control of themselves, because the feminine does not need to fear the masculine whose emotions may get the better of them and destroy the things that they care about. While for feminine energy, a lot of the feminine energy is in that space of feeling that need to give themselves to others, that need to always serve towards those around them. This is the feminine healing the heart space by saying to themselves, I am not cake. I don't need to feel that need to serve others before the self. This is the feminine that says, I'm there to help others, but also to myself comes first. And that's the feminine that says, this is not selfish. This is feminine that is extending the compassion to others, to the self first. And in that way, the feminine has more of an ability to give back to those around them. And this is the feminine that says, never do I feel more safe than saying no. Because when I can say no to another and they do not hate me for that, when I can say no to another and they do not say, why won't you let me be nice to you? If I can say no to another and they can still love me, even in the space of me having to let them down, never do I feel more loved, because I do not feel like I am in a space of being loved because of what I am conditionally giving to another. Continuing to get clarification between our 2 of Wands and its upright in combination with our High Priestess in its reversal. One card to clarify. Clarification, I'm telling you, man, is all this heart expansion right now. It's like a lot. It's a lot of energy. It's hard. A heart that hurts is a heart that works. What did you think? You thought you were going to get on a spiritual journey and you're going to stop feeling everything? Or you thought it was going to get easier? No, 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 no. It doesn't get easier. It gets more complicated, right? And often, like when we come to those healing journeys, it wants to bring us to our knees because we recognize and say, like, yeah, I thought I was good back then. I was disassociating. I was not letting myself feel things, right? Like that ability of coming into the heart space. Like I keep on hearing, as you heal, your heart will break and it will never be broken, right? Because it's like the healing journey is understanding the ability of not being controlled or overwhelmed by the emotions. And when we feel that sense of being able to feel everything that we feel, but not be controlled by them, right? We are able to move with intention through them. This is what we talk about the integration space between, again, the high priestess, the head space, and the heart space, right? The force of intention mixed with emotion. It's not easy, right? I would say it sounds easy, but it's not. And I also see here, it requires constant calibration, right? And I keep on, and that's why I see even now, like you have to understand the masculine and feminine kind of moving back and forth towards one another right now. We see that masculine right now is very much in the space. I told you, like I see this, it feels very, I keep on getting, it feels like a desire, like, and I'm not surprised to see this if there's a masculine right now that's having a heart opening. It's that moment or desire to want to share their heart with those around them, right? It's like it's giving a lot of that force of wanting to kind of reach out. For feminine, same force, but it's a desire to go inwards, right? It's a lot of that space of coming into identifying and recognizing. I keep on seeing, feeling appreciated and loved for who they are. Not what they can give another, right? There's something that's what I mean with a lot of this Virgo energy right now. Continuing to get clarification between our High Priestess in its reversal with our Hangman card in its upright and the Six of Swords in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Yeah, and here's the thing about it. There's a lot of nostalgia happening here, And here's the thing about nostalgia. Nostalgia is good in the space that we look back and understand something better, right? The past is a gift because by understanding our past, we understand the journey of the self. But this is why if we come towards ourselves with too much of this, I keep on hearing, like the force that tries to blame others or be mad about our journey, right? Like we come into that space, like the same, like recognizing that weight of blame, like that space of blame that we inhabit, it clouds our ability to understand the gifts that are surrounding us, right? Because often, I need to point this out, what happens in the story of blame is often the articulation of why we didn't do something, right? It's like carrying the story of energetic regret. It's working in that space. And we talk about regret here, right? Because when we're in a space of having healthy regret allows for the opportunity of building into the pathwork of wisdom. It allows us to see what it is that is within us that we can change. So everything I keep on seeing here, it's really interesting because I see a lot of energy looking back on the past, but not in a space, I keep on seeing, not in a space of overcorrecting, right? Not in the space of over blaming the self. not in the space of over blaming others, but identifying and recognizing what was in one's power to change versus what was outside of one's power to accept. So I love to see this energy right now because I keep on hearing that there's a lot of energy across all of the frequencies building ownership upon their story, right? And the moment we build ownership upon our story, we don't look at something and say, that was something that happened to me. We say, that was something that shaped me into who I am today, right? Doesn't mean that everything that occurred was positive or negative, but recognizing and finding that sense of strength in the self allows for that context of feeling like this is how we ground in the present. And I think that this is really important right now because I told you, a lot of that weight or force that we're experiencing with like the Venus retrograde that makes everything look ugly, and a lot of that sense of like the perfection that the Virgo full moon demands, this is the energy that says and helps us find a balance point by saying, I'm okay with myself. I know who I am. I love that person, right? This is how we can navigate energy that puts everything into sharp contrast. We hold ourselves with love and compassion as we navigate that harsh light. Continuing to get clarification between our Emperor card in combination with our Three of Swords. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Ace of Cups. I like that. I like that a lot. What did I say right here? What do we do when we start navigating the hurt? What do we do when we start feeling the sting of regret? What do we start doing when we feel the sting of remorse? We put the love there. Right? We start to love that's where we start to love ourselves. And that's that moment of saying and identifying. And I keep on hearing, and I keep on seeing this, and I feel like this is important. It's understand. I keep on saying there's a lot of energy that is making peace with things right now. Right? And I think that what's beautiful about that is making peace with circumstances of the past. And at the same time, making peace with, I keep on hearing the energy say, if I'm good, like if I'm okay with myself now, if I find myself like the one, and I need to point, okay, so it's like, it's a little bit of a cliche, but they're saying you can't change the past, right? Overthinking on the past is ridiculous because when you overthink on the past, you miss all of the opportunities presently surrounding you, right? That's all the regret. When you're over worried about the future, it's all anxiety, right? All that anxiety, like perseverating over things that haven't occurred, that is too much of a correction point and looking too far into the future. The balance point is the present, right? Because it's not about overlooking into the past where you can't change things, and it's not building a point of anxiety in terms of what can occur. All that matters is what you do here and now, right? So that's why I keep on seeing that if there's some issues right now in partnership where someone is trying to talk about too much from the past, like they're trying to go back to the past, right? And then like there's energy here. There may even be like there's like there's a lot of that force. Like I keep on seeing that like there's energy here, or someone even coming towards them with too much anxiety as to what's going to happen, right? Like the balance point is finding that place of equal measure. And I keep on hearing the same message that comes through. Our feelings are never each other's responsibility. We don't blame each other for how we feel. When we're in a healthy space, we come with our own prescription for how we feel, right? It's like, you got to think about it. Like every time you say to someone, you feel like something, you're really saying, I'm hungry, right? And it's like what you're really saying is like, give me something. And you're not giving them any clarity. So when you say to someone, I'm hungry, I would like a piece of bread, right? You say to someone, this is how I'm feeling and this is how it can be fixed. This is how we communicate properly through our emotions. And again, that's why we say, when we just say to someone, I'm hungry and it's your fault, that doesn't make any sense. Like when you say to someone, I'm hungry and it's your fault, it's like, that doesn't make any sense, right? The only feeling that we generate within each other that is our responsibility to heal for one another is confusion. Because confusion can be met with clarity, right? If I feel confused about something and I come towards you with it, the gift that we give one another is by clearing, is allowing for the clarity, right? So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of conversations where I keep on seeing like a profound moment of clarity is occurring that's helping others recognize what can be healed. Or if it can't be healed, what is wrong in the first place? Like, there's the problem, Continuing to get clarification between our three of swords in combination. I love this. We've got symbology here with the three of swords and the four of swords. And then we've got the six of swords next to it. We've had so many swords cards ever since we got into this Aries energy. 10 of cups. It's not ideal, right? Situations aren't ideal. And this is what we have to talk about, right? And this is the problem with a lot of this, like no offense to Virgos, because Virgo energy is beautiful in terms of plans, in terms of understanding what's precious, in terms of being analytical. But a lot of the work that Virgos have to recognize and work through is remembering perfect doesn't get anything done. Good is better than perfect because good is done and perfect is something that we can never achieve, right? An artist never finishes their work. They merely abandon it, right? So you have to recognize, again, what are we feeling right now? Like that space of saying, like, again, you are not a mess. You are a work in progress. Your job is not to be flawless. The reason we love a jewel is because of its flaws. What do we do with a jewel that has flaws? We polish them. Take these flaws that they may become facets. We turn them into the things that and I want you to think about anyone you love. Anyone you love, do you love them because they're perfect? No, right? You love those quirks. You love those intricacies. You love those little unique things that make them stand out beyond any other, right? It's not about the space of finding perfection. It's about embracing those qualities and characteristics that are solely ours, right? And that's where that space, then again, and we do this even on the work on the self, right? There are things that we want to work on. We don't just say, I'm sorry, I'm like this, right? I'm the worst. We say, I know that's something I'm working on, right? I identify that as a problem, and this is what I've been doing to try to resolve it, right? The difference between the energy that says, you're not patient enough versus energy that says, be patient with me, right? The key word is not, and again, the difference between be patient for me and be patient with me, right? 4 feels of separation. 4 says, do this for me, right? Be patient with me means I'm actively doing this with you. And typically someone doesn't need to say that. You can see it, right? You doesn't need to say it. You can see it because that's the energy that puts a qualifier on trying, right? Like trying, when you're doing something and you say you're trying, it's just you're not doing like, and I keep on hearing the difference between, I keep on hearing like the trying in the head versus the trying in the hands versus someone that says I'm trying, but they're not doing something, right? Versus someone that's like actually doing it and they're feeling like, and they're trying. And you're like, I keep on hearing someone that says that they want to try to do something versus someone that's actually doing it, right? But they're doing, I hear the energy, like I hear someone being like doing something and being like, I'm sorry if I'm bad at this. And someone being like, no, you're doing great, Final card between, Ace of Cups in its upright and 10 of Cups in its reversal. I know what this card is. Okay, cool. Yep. I keep on hearing sitting on the curve versus a learning curve, right? Like the energy that says, I wish, right? A wish. The reason that a manifestation is not a wish is because we don't just sit around waiting for it to happen. All right? The difference between a manifestation and a wish is we don't just sit around waiting for it to happen. We move. A manifestation is a journey. We move in the direction towards it, right? It changes us as we move towards it. It is the setting of intention. And again, it's a reminder that a healthy manifestation does not require one to disassociate on the journey of moving towards it, right? It's not a march, it's a parade. It's that space of identifying and recognizing. And I keep on seeing there's a lot, like the gift that's happening right now in some of this energy, especially as we move towards the eclipse, is identifying, like I keep on hearing, seeing a learning curve in action. I keep on hearing seeing a learning curve in action, meaning, the difference between someone that says, I wish I could learn, versus someone that you're witnessing is in the process of going through a learning curve, right? And that's having to do with the difference between someone that articulates what they wish they could do versus someone that's actively in the process of doing it, right? Bottom of the deck. And that's happening across all of the frequencies. Bottom of the deck. There she is. Oh my gosh. She has been out like hotcakes right now. It's because of it's like, I did not see this card for like months and months and months. Girlfriend was like hiding in the deck. We got our Queen of Swords out, bottom of the deck. And here's the thing. Like, I feel like there's some energy right now that is going through like, what got into you? You know what I mean? Like, it's like some energy going like, and I need to stress this. This is why it's really important right now. Please listen to me. If you're being patient for someone, make sure that they know that. Like, make sure that they understand that. Because sometimes what happens, and this is why, like, and again, feminine energy, you have to take accountability for this. Because sometimes feminine energy suffers, like I keep on hearing, feminine energy is letting go of the habit of suffering in silence, right? Because here's the thing, when we suffer in silence, we often create these dysregulation points where another person doesn't realize that we are upset, right? They don't understand that we're putting weight on them. They don't understand that what they're doing is bothering us because we're going, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. When it's not fine and we know it, right? Like, and then we have these moments that we explode and someone goes, what's gotten into you? Because if we're not in a space that we are articulating when we're not feeling okay, there is no condition where that will not eventually bubble up someday, right? And that's when you have those moments where like, I don't know what got into her, and everyone's going, I do, right? like I do, right? So and again, this is why we talk about the mutual work of the sign work, and it does say to me that there's a lot of this work here. And you can see this masculine energy, like this is masculine energy. I keep on hearing masculine energy right now is trying to control the horses, right? Feeling the emotions that want to drive forward something, but then pulling back upon them and saying like, I can feel these things and not act upon them. Feminine working on that space of being able to bear pain. Like your gift of bearing pain, you have to let others know that you're in pain. Like you can't not let others know that you're not in pain, and then get upset if someone continues to do something, right? So this is how like feminine is clearing their throat chakra at this time, right? And masculine is like working through the heart chakra. So I see even now, like this is masculine, like learning how to open up, and feminine that's clearing their throat chakra. And I need to point this out. This doesn't mean that that feminine is going, I'm clearing my throat chakra, I'm popping off on everybody, right? Like this is the feminine energy learning to communicate in ways so that they don't build, I keep on hearing, they don't build a reservoir of hostility within them in the progress, right? I keep on hearing like not a reservoir of pain, but like a hidden spring of joy. Like don't let the ability of having a hidden spring of joy create a reservoir of pain within you. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here to receive them. If you would like to if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading on my website, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Also, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I'd encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Wheel of Fortune card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, March 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. And all you need to do if you would like to become a part of that tarot class program is become a paid subscriber to my Substack. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also have access to, as a monthly subscriber, over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything that we've studied or are learning thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library archive. You will also gain access to the option of having a complimentary mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes best effect to your personal tarot goals moving forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's absolutely something there for everyone. Don't let your robust experience or your lack of experience prevent you from joining our classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, please follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings, services. We post the podcast there every day with a full photo of today's spread if you would like to see it. Also, I'd like to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal journey goals and spiritual journey and spiritual path work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation reading packages. That is a package of, again, you can purchase those per dream or as a package. I simply ask that if you purchase the dream interpretation reading package, that you please make sure that you start to keep a dream journal, as when we meet, we will be utilizing the journal to understand the key messages and themes that are coming through the dream space utilizing the tarot. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again